and I barely even documented or kept track of everything. So let's just go back in time and see how it went. The concept of drawing is something that has always fascinated me. I like the idea of bringing something that doesn't exist to life. When I was much younger, I used to make comics and everyone loved it. And as I was getting older, it started fading away. And I literally remember one day, I should have been like 14 years old or so, and I told myself, this is childish. I'm not doing it anymore. Because the big boys at school didn't draw comics, right? And fast forward about 6 years later, and I'm wondering why I haven't stopped. Okay, so I'm going to name all this type of videos the 30-day series, where I take something and focus on it for about a month and see if we can make it work or bring anything valuable out of it. In this case, what I'm going to be focusing on is going to be drawing. Okay, so day one, I actually created an animation. I wanted to do drawing and animation together, but even though drawing and animation are very similar, they are still two completely different worlds. Day two, I continued the comic I was doing. I started it around the beginning of February, and I also drew this. I think it was supposed to be so like sitting down and smoking, but obviously it does not look like that. Day three, I drew this gun and I also made this animation. Day four, I went on YouTube to actually find how to draw videos. I started learning a whole lot more. I drew some shapes and lines and even this foot. You know, at the time I thought I would win Mr. What's the Boss giveaway, but I obviously did it. Day 5, I kept watching the videos and started doing some shading and sketching and all that. Day 6, I was learning how to draw faces and all those type of things from one of the videos I saw. I was also just doing some random practice drawings and tracing, and many of them didn't turn out to trust me. Then when I was watching those videos, they recommended some books. Then I went and downloaded them. They were free, like I have money to pay for. I'll put their links in the description if you're interested. One was a like how to draw heads and hands, but it looked very complicated. But the other one was like a 30 days drawing guide, exactly what I was looking for. So I started following it. Okay, so let's just say the day I started following the guide officially became day 1. So day 1. So today is day 7. I actually found books online that can actually help you draw. So I'm going to start following the books. I didn't even know art as like science inside it. I didn't know there's like lines and shapes. I'm not going to be explaining all the 30 lessons in the books and all that. Like, if you want to know, you just download the books. They are free. As it's from the websites I saw them, they are free. You can get a more in-depth look at it. I'm just going to summarize the whole thing and the important things I learned. So the first thing is shapes. Just as I was doing before I even found this book, shapes are everything. Everything you see is made up of circles, triangles, squares, and even cylinders. It's weird to wrap your head around the concept. Even till now, I still struggle with that. It's just sometimes confusing. But when you notice the forms of many objects, they are basically just shapes that are combined together to form something. Okay, the second one is shading. I didn't even realize how important this was before. Like, I'll just draw and I thought shading was not really important. But shading really brings your image to life. Shading is what makes your image 3D, like the books used to say. For example, look at this. This is just a circle. I could say it's a ball, but it just looks like a circle. Now check it out. It does look like a ball, or at least a round object, not just a circle. There are a million ways shading works, and many of those ways I know nothing about. But just know shading really does something. It really does something to your drawing. I was using a pen at first, then I found this blunt pencil lying around in the house. Eventually I went and bought these drawing sets, whatever they call it, and even this book to be my sketchbook, and I'm really glad I did. For the tools, you don't really need anything special, just need basically pencil and eraser. I don't even need to have different types of pencil. If you can get that, just better for you, but it's not compulsory. Illusion. The bigger or smaller something is really gives the illusion of distance, depth, and a lot of that stuff. It was the Century that kind of highlighted this for me. If you draw something bigger, then it looks closer. If you draw it smaller, then it looks far away. I think it's part of the fundamental drawing laws or something like that. When you get the book, you understand more. Of course, there are exemptions. Sometimes some things are drawn bigger, but they are still looking further away. Sometimes they are smaller, but they are closer also. Horizontal line. It basically just makes your drawing being on something and not just floating around in space. I don't even know what day today is. Today should be like day, I don't know, maybe 15 or 17 or even 20 something. Just going to show you what the whole drawing process looks like. So normally the book is a PDF I read through my phone, but I'm using my phone to record this video you're watching, so I had to put it here. So I'm just going to draw today's lesson. Okay, yeah, today's lesson 11. Shadow direction. This is kind of an important one. The direction of the shadow of your object has to align accurately with the object. This is a common mistake I make. The shadow is usually a little off. It's like either too small, bends too much and all that. But it's not even just shadows, even lines in general. So they have to align, and when they align together, your image looks balanced. They have a way to calculate it in the book, so when you read it, you check it out, you understand it more. Okay, that's just the summary of everything I've learned. Of course, there are a million more things you should know and all that, but go and do your own research, go and do your own practice. At the beginning, I was excited, I was pumped, I was making progress. But as I started reaching the middle and all the newness started fading away, it didn't feel that fun. Instead, it started feeling like a chore. Many times I'll be about to sleep, I've already laid down, then I'll now remember, oh wait, I've not even drawn today. I think I only missed like 4 days or so. The first time I didn't really miss it, I just did one lesson in 2 days. But the other one, it was only the last lesson itself. I don't know why it was so hard for me to just finish it. I skipped like 3 days, but eventually I did it, I was done. I was also working on my comic on the side, and I'm also done with that. If you want to see the comic I was doing, I made a YouTube short on it. You can check it out, I'll link it below. And if you feel like the thing is too fast, you can like pause the video and be reading it. Or there's a way you can do it, you can slow the video speed down, put the video in the highest quality and be screenshotting it also, so you can zoom in and see the right things properly. But anyways, so overall, it's been a really good experience, a really dope experience. I recommend every single person that watches this to at least try this once in their life. So the problem I keep asking myself is, so after 30 days, like, what's next? Is that just going to be the end? It's been about 2 weeks now, so the time of me recording this video, if not more than 2 weeks now, but 2 weeks thereabouts since I last drew anything. So like, what's not the point of drawing for 30 days if after 30 days you're just going to abandon the routine? That's what I keep asking myself honestly. Once you abandon the thing and you stop practicing, I think that's when all your superpowers go away. And before you know, it's done from months to 2 months to 3 months. And before you know, it's been years again since you last put down pen and drew anything. So I just think practicing it as often as possible is the best. And if you are going to do this challenge, don't do it like me. Like, don't make it a chore, don't make it something that is compulsory, don't make it that when you have gone to sleep, that's when you remember, oh, I have to draw, I've not drawn today. Like, make it fun, make it exciting, make it something that will bring you joy the day. Make it as sweet as possible. Alright, so that's it. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.